Hello gang, SharpShot21 here. We are back in the garage, at least for a moment, but really we are starting on part 2 for the truck. By part 2 I mean, should have just wrapped up the series for doing the front end. This is the series for doing the AC. And we're going to do a couple other things while we're in there. But truck came factory with AC, so that's nice. Problem is, the compressor decided it wanted to not be a compressor anymore before I bought it, so it's got the delete pulley in. I have all of the parts to put in a new AC system. This is because when a compressor goes and seizes, they tend to spit shrapnel through the entire system. In theory, you can clean that. In practice, not so much. That shrapnel is going to get caught in places, and no matter how good you flush it, it's not going to come out until you put gas in there. And once you put refrigerant in, then it's going to run through the system, and odds are it may clog your orifice tube, or it will get into the compressor and it will start to eat the compressor again. So we're not going to take any chances here. We are replacing everything. All the lines, the condenser, the evaporator, the dryer, obviously the compressor. I've got new switches. It's all coming out. In addition to that, we have to pull the rad fan and the radiator. That's not a problem. But while we're pulling that, we're going to replace the thermostat. While we've got a bunch of this stuff out and have access, we're going to pull the valve covers and do valve cover gaskets because those are leaking. I can see them leak. So valve cover gaskets are coming out and getting replaced. Valve covers are coming out and getting painted. So there's a few steps involved in this process. First things first, we're going to pull a bunch of parts. We're going to pull the intake tubes. We're going to pull the old dryer. We're going to pull coolant. We're going to get a bunch of stuff out. Get a bunch of stuff out of the way. See if we can get the valve covers off, and then we're going to go from there. I do have to go rent a tool to get the radiator fan off because I don't have a fan clutch wrench, so we'll go rent one of those and roll in that. But enough babbling, let's get to it. Alright, I know the view isn't the best, so we're going to try to narrate. First things first, we're going to pull the intake tube. I notice I've got a broken vacuum line, so that's probably not helping my situation at all. We'll see if we can trace back to where that goes and replace that. We are going to pull this off of the vent. Whole thing's coming off. The intake box can stay in. We don't need to mess with that. This cover, I don't think needs to come off. That should be able to stay. I am going to loosen these two clamps while I've got the screwdriver out. Alright, anything else? Probably should pull battery terminal here, but we're not really going to get into that too much. This is the delete pulley. That's going to be like the last thing we pull out. But because the compressor goes in this space, there's our valve cover, so we're going to do that first. Just trying to see what else we can get. All right, switching angles. We've got to pull the coil pack. I'm going to leave the spark plug leads on the engine, but I'm going to clean the top of those and we're going to hit them with a little paint pen. So for your memory and mine, I'm going to go white dots on passenger side. Yellow dots on drivers. 1's in the front, 3's in the back. And really these just pull right off. All right. It appears that we got 3 bolts to hold this coil pack on. All right, well, that snapped. What is that? Well, we'll fix that later. Or, you know, not. All right, 13 mil. Need a little I got them broken free. How are we doing? Thank you. Uh-oh. That may be a problem. We'll deal with that later. That looks big. $17 mil down there. All right, gotta torch this one out a little bit, I think. A little bit of heat sometimes is required. Okay. Okay. Okay, I had the battery die here on me while I was draining the radiator. Now, hopefully down here you can see it. There's a little white T just off the side of my hand. That's the drain for the radiator. We've got that mostly drained out. We don't need to go all the way because we are just going to pull the top hose that leads over to the block. And then next step, we are going to pull the dryer canister and start to get into the AC box. So let's grab a big adjustable because I don't know what size this thing is. Now this is a little backwards. That's what I'm hearing. Is that, yeah. The nut is actually on the evaporator side here. The condenser side, or the accumulator side does not have that. Now, somehow in here, there is a clamp. And it looks like it's a wee little one, like maybe an 8mm. And yes, I know it's a Ford. It should be US. It's a weird mishmash. 8 fits, but it's a little loose. I'll try 7. Seven don't fit at all. $8 mil. It's like a 5/16. That fits best, so we're going to call that 5/16. See, some bits are American, SAE, and some bits are metric, and some bits are just rusted. And you use what you can get. Okay, dryer is out. And that whole thing goes right in the bin. It's toast. Okay, so next step. I mean, we got a couple options here. is, I think we're going to undo the clamp that holds the AC canister, or the evap canister, to the bottom line on the evaporator. Because that'll give us a little more access. To the line set here. And there's one bolt on the air box, but I need a little teeny extension. And by a little teeny extension, we may just need the deep. Now, this part of the AC box is a split box, and the AC parts live outside the HVAC box in the truck, which is nice. The heater core is in the truck, so you gotta pull the dash for that. The AC, not so much. There we go. So it all comes out. Just looking to see what we've got for fastening points. What is going to need to come off, get rerouted. This is going to come off and get flopped over. I may have to undo the two heater core hoses just so I can get them out of the way. Blower motor, I think, is okay to stay, but the blower motor may need to come out. Really, we got to get this housing to split open gently so I can pull out the old core and put the new one in. So I'm going to turn the camera off. We'll get pieces off and then we'll go from there. So I think we are at the last stage for this. I cut out the tube coming off the the condenser to the bottom of the evaporator. And we're getting the last nut off of this, at least as near as I can tell. I think I've got the last everything out. All right, that's out. Now, I think no, there's one more underneath. Now, I heard it's a 10, but I also heard you couldn't get it on, so I heard the 12 was the way to go. All right, there it is. All right. All right. Let's see if I broke the rest off of it. Nope. All right. All right. All right. Get this nut off of here. I gotta go bigger socket. She is toik. Are we at an 11? Deep. They could have gone with a longer stud. Okay. Getting there. I think we're free enough. we're doing okay. That thing did not want to come off. But that is what it is. All right, last. You gotta move a little bit. That came out. That will need some adjustment. That's the fiberglass. And that's it. That's a clever way to do that. Now we're gonna have to get in there vacuum because somebody built a mouse house in there. Which let's see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but somebody built a mouse house in there, so that's gotta get cleaned out. So we'll do that, and then we'll pull off some valve covers.